Hi everybody, my name is Loon and I'm here to bring you my shroom experience. So yes, I did try shrooms just recently. About a day ago, I tried shrooms and my friend Jamia, bless her heart, was a sitter for me. I guess a shroom sitter, a person who's sober, who, you know, is there for you while you do shrooms, so you don't like trip out or can't pull yourself back down. Basically like that groundingness that you need in case you get too far off on the trip. I did some research before I actually digested the shroom, a couple days before, like all last week, and I would come upon a couple videos that I took notes from. So one of them was really good. I wrote an intention before my experience, before I even ate it. I wrote it the day of too, and like in the moment of, right before I digested it, just so I can remember why I'm doing it. Some people do it just for the experience, but I think it's one of those plants that have a lot of information to give, a lot of information to bring up that you hold, but you probably just don't know you hold it. Personally, I don't think I was really seeing like, you know, like the skies melting or colors like changing too much. Like the saturation definitely got brighter and I knew like the shrooms were kicking in, but that's like the most it did to my visuals. As for like my mental and my feelings, it definitely heightened them. It definitely brought a lot of things to the surface so that you can deal with it if you decide to. And that's where the intention comes in, because whatever it brings up, whatever you intend to want to bring up and to deal with, it does that. Writing an intention reminds you of why you've been doing it. So my intention was to release whatever no longer aids me in my life's purpose. So I found this on the ground, but I wrote on it because it had a little heart on it, and yeah, it was so crazy. So to walk through some things, and I have a couple clips I could play while I talk so that you can get what I'm saying. So I didn't eat too much. I ate breakfast and then it was like probably 2 or 3 hours afterwards. So I wasn't hungry. I was just like satisfied basically. I didn't want to be starving, but I also didn't want to be full either. So it would take even longer for it to kick in. But I ate some. I ate it all. I ate an eighth. And that's apparently like the hero. Eighth is like a good starting place, but also it's not. I don't know, different sources say different things basically. So whatever your gut says to do it. And I also did a reading for myself to see if an eighth was good for me or if I should microdose or whatever. So regardless, I took it. We were sitting at the lake basically all day, this lake by my house, and literally the first thing I noticed was the saturation in my, like the visuals. Everything looked like it was summertime, basically. As far as it went for my visuals. She was like, I was describing what I was looking at the lake. I was like, wow, can you see those, like, you know, how the tree lines does? She's like, yeah, I love the way you look at stuff, like draw it. And I'm an artist, so of course I, you know, took upon that challenge and drew it. I drew a picture sober first. So this is how it looked right there. My after was the picture I was looking at. I mean, what I was looking at outside. And it was this. You can't really like, I hope you can see that. Because there was a tree, but I don't know why I put the tree like this. But that's what I was looking at. I don't like drawing realistic stuff, but I did like how I drew the background. I just wish I showed more of the background because it was really nice. I like how I drew the water and everything. Besides that, what I was experiencing was, okay, so it was crazy. So before I even ate it, like when it was like just in like the tip of my mouth, because it was kind of hard biting it, I felt like my stomach was like a dome. Well, I probably should have said that. My stomach felt like a dome. My stomach felt like a dome, like before I even started chewing. Almost like it was, not like it was blocking it out, but like it was preparing itself for it. So I ate it, you know, chilling. And then like the whole time, before anything crazy happened, the whole time I just felt like a ball in my stomach. Like, and I didn't want to eat anything anymore. I didn't want to drink anything because it almost felt like I could throw up. And I was just staring like out into the ocean or out into the lake. And then like I felt myself going to like a low place. Like, and it was a very familiar place because that's usually where I would go to when I feel low. Like, it's usually like the moments I go to when I feel low and I feel but you know what I mean. And so I told Jamia, because you know at least she was there, so I told her. Oh, she was like, how do you feel? And I was like, how do I feel? Like, I never really got asked that. And then it was like crazy because like the ball was like, it moved up. And like it moved up to my throat. Like I felt it like right here. And I was like, how do I feel? And I kept saying like, I don't know. And then I was just like, no, I know. Just probably don't know consciously, but subconsciously I know. And then I just told her, while also telling myself, I was like, no, the word will come to me. You know, it will come to me. And I was just like, yeah. And then I just kept asking myself over. I was like, how do I feel? Because it was just such an intriguing question for some reason. And I was like, how do I feel? And then I was like, lonely. It's kind of like, in the moment, it's what I felt. Like, in that moment, it's what I felt. And that's every moment that when I feel like that over however long I've been alive. You know, things come in waves, but when I'm at my lows, I definitely feel lonely. And so I told her, I was like, lonely, like that's what it is. And then she was like, can I give you a hug? And I was like, yeah, you can give me a hug. And so we hugged, and she like never let go. And then I was just like, yeah, I feel like in that moment to like feel lonely and then just get a hug. And then it was just like the tears just started coming, and I was like, Jimmy, I'm so glad you're here. And then we just had such a touching moment. She's like, I'm not gonna let you go. And I was like, I don't want you. This is such a nice hug. It was a nice hug. It was so comfortable. Yeah. And then like I was trying to describe like, you know, my life and just like what I've been going through recently, like these past couple of weeks, because it's been a lot. I feel like Capricorn hit us all hard in the beginning of the year. And then Aquarius was just like, it was just all around. I feel like everyone's been feeling it, but just me personally going through what I've been going through and trying to step in and transition with all the things that have been happening, you know, foundations crumbling and then trying to pick up the pieces and rebuilding it back up. And then just to have, okay, this is a transition. This is me turning into a caterpillar to a butterfly, you know, to a phoenix or something, you know. And I like, what do I need to release? Like properly, what do I need to release? And it's that loneliness. Like it's the feeling of loneliness, the feeling like you're truly and honestly, like no one can understand you. And it was so crazy because she understood me perfectly in that moment. It was like, and I described how I was feeling because it's just the people who are my support group or my support circle. It's almost like I couldn't even tell them how I was feeling and what I was going through because I knew they would support me. Like my friends would support me, my family are still confused, but it's like it was hard to really describe and connect with what I was going through and talking to the people who are around me, which I love, of course. But sometimes they aren't the right people to tell. And so I don't really like telling people a lot of what I go through. I tell certain people that I feel like will understand. And I'm so grateful that Jamia understood in that moment too. And yeah, and it's just like we had such a touching moment. And it was like such a good cry. Like my airways were like clear. That like feeling in my throat and in my gut were just gone. And I just continued drawing. I think, yeah, and I was just continuing drawing, and then like I think she went to sleep. That's when it happened. That's when she went to sleep. And then yeah, we were just chilling. And honestly, like I think that was pretty much it. And then we went home, or went to my house and cooked a grilled cheese sandwich, and I relaxed I had a nice sleep. I always talk about my experiences in case anyone else is going through the same thing. So I'll just make a separate video on that. So that you know, y'all aren't alone out here. We're out here thugging, creatives in a government household, basically. Like, you know, when everyone else is just going the same route and then you decide to trail off the path into your own and carve your own way. It's sometimes hard for people to understand and to translate. So know that you guys aren't alone, and now I know too that I'm not alone. So whoever else is out there, hit me up. So we not alone together, okay? But yeah, I think shrooms in general, it was a beautiful experience. If you have an intention and if you feel like, definitely have your mind clear. Like this past week, like my mind was clear. Like even though like what came up was needed to come up and what came up was very heavy, I was feeling very light throughout the week. I made sure like all my, you know, things that I wanted to check off were checked off, and that my mind was clear, that I was feeling good mentally. You know, the preparation beforehand, the setting, the set, where you want to go, who you want to do with, because I feel as though who you want to do with too is definitely important. And music, because I ended up listening to 423 Hertz music, and I noticed that whenever it was other type of music that I didn't really vibe with it. Like it was like so weird. Like when it was like regular lyrical music and stuff like that, it didn't really sit well with my spirit at the time. So it definitely heightens your senses. It definitely heightens your emotions and your subconscious, so that it kind of meets you halfway there, so you're able to deal with whatever you need to get through, if there's something you need to get through, or if there's an intention or something that you want to actually intend to solve in whatever you're doing. It pushes you to solve some things, and if you're not ready to solve it, it will like throw you into a loop, I feel as though. But thankfully, gratefully, my experience wasn't like that. And then I wrote, I was like, you know, I wrote my intention at the top, and I wrote in my Gemini book how I felt, and I just want to read it really quick. My shroom experience. I can't say it was a bad experience, and I can't say it was a terrible one either. It was a very needed one though, a very grateful one. It keeps me bringing me back to that saying of, the universe doesn't bring you something that is just temporary. It brings you something that will last for the rest of your life. After I read that, I realized I'd rather have that than any short-lived feeling. Of course, I still want some short-lived feelings, but the ones that are meant to be for forever won't even compare. The mushroom is definitely intelligent, and I'm grateful that it was able to help me release that loneliness I was holding on to. I'll be back. But okay, thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching and allowing me to share my experience with you. Hit me up if you are creative in a family that isn't very fully understanding of it. But I hope you guys have a good day. Happy belated Valentine's Day too. So peace out, guys. Love you.